Welcome to the course Competency-Based Assessment. This course is meant for Tvet trainers to be able to conduct assessment for their trainees. In this session, we are looking at the introduction to competency-based assessment. The content for this particular session include terms and concepts and related terminologies that are used in competency-based assessment. By the end of this particular session, I expect you to be able to explain related terms and concepts used in competency-based assessment. Let's look at some of the terms and concepts used in competency-based assessment. We shall start by differentiating between competence and competency. Competence is the acquisition of knowledge, skills, and attitudes that are required to perform work activities, while competency is the ability to demonstrate or to apply the required competencies in the workplace to the required industry standards. Competency is a combination of knowledge, skills, attitudes, and values. When we talk about knowledge, it is the understanding that is required to complete a job task in the workplace. Skills is the technical expertise that is required to complete a job task in the workplace, and attitudes and values comprise the working behavior that is required in the workplace. The work behavior has three components. That is the affective component, that has to do with the way we feel about the job. It has the behavioral component, that is the effect of the attitude on our work behavior, and it also has the cognitive component. Those are the beliefs and knowledge that we have concerning the workplace. Now, we have dimensions of competency. One, we have what we call the task skills. Now, the task skills basically are the skills that we require to be able to perform or undertake individual tasks in a given job. Task management, it is the ability to be able to manage multiple tasks that are required in the workplace. Contingency management is being able to respond to irregularities or the issues that may arise in the workplace. And we also have the job or role environmental skills, that is the ability to deal with the responsibilities and expectations in the workplace, and also being able to work well with others in the workplace. Now we have what we call the competency levels. This is the framework that we have for competency levels. So it has 6 levels. At the very first level of competency, we have what we call novice. Now, when you describe yourself as a novice, it means you have minimal understanding of a given job, and it requires that you are given close supervision as you undertake a job. At the second level, that is the beginner, it is a situation where you have basic grasp of the job and you can be able to perform simple tasks, but with assistance. Now, in the third level, we have competence, and this is where you are able to perform work tasks independently and efficiently without necessarily having been supervised. At level 4, we say that you are proficient, and this is where you have high level of skill and expertise, and you can be able to handle complex tasks. At level 5, we say that you are an expert, and at this stage, you have exceptional skills and you have deep understanding, and you are also recognized as an authority in that particular area. Finally, we have strategic leader, and this is a person that can be able to shape the future of an organization, give direction and standards. In other words, we talk of a visionary leader or a transformative leader, and this is at the highest level of competency. So essentially, we have those 6 levels from level 1 all the way to level 6, level 6 being the highest. Now, let's look at the other related terminologies used in CBA. So we have monitoring. Monitoring is just basically tracking the trainees' progress over time and seeing how they are doing or performing in the training process. So you track what they are doing as you give them feedback so that they can be able to continue improving, and also they can be able to know how well they are performing. Now, in assessment, this is a process where you determine the changes in students' behavior, and you want to ascertain has the trainee been able to acquire the required knowledge, skills, and attitudes that are applicable in the workplace. So you conduct an assessment. And for you to conduct an assessment, we do measurement where we quantify the changes in behavior in terms of students' performance. And so we use measurement tools, and we can be able to tell what the level of change that has taken place. It could be described as 50%, 60%, 80%, 100%. So this one can help us to know the quantitative value in terms of the change of behavior of the students' behavior. Now, for us to carry out measurement, we have a test. We have tools that we use to correct information concerning the behavior of the trainees. And this testing basically helps us to measure the level of knowledge, skills, or abilities that have been acquired by the trainee. So we have tests, and we have different types of tests. In CBET assessment, we have what we call the written assessment that helps us to test on the theoretical aspects or the knowledge aspects concerning a given area. And we also have what we call the practical assessment, and this is where we want to look at the technical skills. And then finally, we have what we call evaluation. So after we carry out the measurement of an individual performance, we want now to make judgment concerning what students have learned, and this judgment is basically made on the assessment data. So the assessment data is evidence that is gathered concerning the performance of a trainee. And once we get that information, we are able to gauge whether the trainee is competent or not yet competent in a given area. So for the introduction, we basically went through some of the terms and concepts used in CBA, and we have many other terminologies that we shall discuss as we move on. So for this particular session, we have been able to differentiate between competence and competency. Competence, we said it is the acquisition of knowledge, skills, and attitudes required in the workplace, whereas competency is the application of the knowledge, skills, and attitudes to the required industry standards. Then we talked about monitoring, and when we talked about monitoring, it's keeping track of the progress of the trainee during our training, and then we carry out an assessment to ascertain how well the trainees are performing, and we use measurements, which is quantitative value that is used to make a judgment. And for us to carry out measurement, we use tests. The tests are basically tools that we develop, and we have the written tools, and we also have the practical tools that help us to gauge the theoretical aspects or the knowledge aspects the trainee has gained, and also the practical tools that helps us to gauge whether the trainee has gained the skills. And then finally, in evaluation, we make judgment on whether the trainee is competent and no, or not yet competent. Now, as we were discussing the term competency, we also talked about the domains of competency, and we were also able to go through the 6 levels of the competency framework. Thank you very much for listening to me. I will take you through the next session that will take us through other aspects to do with competence assessment. Thank you very much.